WBGX.org.
Tell them. May said, we want to know what's in it for the black people.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, and I want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me. It's me again.
listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now, other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze, it's Sonia, and Ruthie, and Todd, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve them.
Wake up, Chicago! It's your man, Maze Jackson. I got Todd Stroger in the building, and I got Ruthie Moore. Now I want to talk to y'all. Hey, Todd, Ruthie.
Yeah.
At about 8:30, we're going to talk about the uncooperative co-op.
What? Do you let your kids say what when you call their name?
What?
Can they?
Hell!
No.
Like,
My kids know if they said what they say, I mean.
Can they say, huh? Can I do huh?
No, they can't do
Yes.
No?
It's yes.
Dang.
Yeah, thank you.
so usually I'm like, book! Milan now, it's like she's actually more polite now than she was then, and I think there was...
She feeling guilty, like,
I know, I do. She do. She be like, dang, this dude do a lot. I sure didn't appreciate it all now, but now I got to pay for it myself. Dad.
Ooh, she hit you with the soft voice.
Oh, no.
Girl dad.
She know how to, for my boy, no, he doesn't. But I do feel like the text, like I feel some kind of way with their text speak. Like, yeah. Like his answers, like.
Okay.
Like I feel.
Interesting.
Now, in person, we got it. But the text speak, I'd be like, I want you to text like you talk.
Okay.
But that's well, they call that more of a older boomer thing. The text like you talk.
Ooh.
Well, I'm learning that, right? Like what, we WID and GTS, and I'd be like, huh?
What's GTS?
Go to sleep.
Oh.
Right? Like my daughter was like, what time do you GTS? Huh? Sonia, it took more text to tell, just say
To
go
figure
to
out
sleep.
what you said.
But what I am trying to do, and I was going to talk about this yesterday, is I am trying to purge myself of certain things that I don't have a rationale for. That just because. Somewhat. Right? Like, now there are some things I ain't really got an answer for. It's just because I told you to. But I also...
'cause I said so.
Right.
That's
But
why you're doing
I
it.
do now try to... I do feel like with my children, I feel like my parents told me no just cause sometimes. Now I think that's good, but I don't necessarily, because I also feel like there's no reason that I can't go out. You can't go out 2 days in a row. If you're doing good stuff and you're fine and you can go out Friday and you can go out Saturday. Like,
Hey, that's good, Maze. What you actually said, like that's a practice for people like examining like their educational practices. Like you ask yourself, does this make sense?
yeah, I mean, and I'm not knocking it, but I also, there's a lot of things that
We inherit.
yes, not all bad.
Not all bad.
But I have determined that there are certain things that I change up that I'm just not. And it's not, I don't have a judgment on it, but I do feel like there's some things like, like I feel like I don't necessarily tell my kids no, they can't have something if they can. Now I may say you got to put on, or you gotta give me 50 on it. You'd be like, I'll take 50 because it's 500. No, but I'm trying now not to. Like, I feel like my sister kind of has it. Like, because Reagan is like, she don't. It's like the recognizing parenting and the things that we don't necessarily need to do, taking the good stuff out of what we got and then adding today to it. Because I feel like there's a lot of things like you can't, that aren't the same. You really don't know who your children are talking to. You can play all the games, you can delude yourself all day long, but once they get a hold of this thing, they in the whole universe. Right. And they got, it's like the keys to the universe. Because you type sex in Google and don't you start Google. I'm just saying. It'd be like sex. And yes. And like, shoot, you be trying to, I told you. You can't even lie to your kids half the time now. Because I be like, stork. I was like, the stork. He was like, that is not what Google said.
He said that is not. That is
not stork. There ain't no Google. Give me that Google. Take that off your daggone phone. All right, y'all. Did y'all get where I was going with the who's coming back? What y'all think? I think that they are selectively I think they are going to use COVID to reimagine Chicago like we weren't here.
I think they're going to use it to get tighter control and regulations over things.
I'm with you on that. Like, it's a lot that, but again, the stuff that
I'm not worried about that. That's that 1984 thing. But I'm worried more about what you're saying, Maze, than Ruthie's thought.
I think it's a combination, though. The tighter controls is who are the people that have access, right? Like, I'm not, like, there was a time when, say, Chosen Few could run roughshod over the South Side because you just didn't want to have no problems, right? Like, because you imagine telling people that you are the reason that there is no Chosen Few? Black people unite around the country for that. Now, you don't. It's going to be like, we ain't had it for 2 or 3 years. They no longer, and I would say, like, I would not be surprised knowing Mayor Petty and knowing the associations, right, with the Chosen Few, that she was like, all right, we definitely going to have a house music festival that's not going to include them. Like, to me, I'm sorry, you cannot reopen Chicago, have a house music festival. I don't even like house music.
But I think you're absolutely right, though. The city, if they wanted it to happen, they'd have reached out
to
them and said it.
Exactly. Like, and it's like what they do is then they take our people and they give them $200,000 while they giving away $20 million. And because we don't see 200,000, it's like I'm gonna tell you what, Cousin Juan has got to be significantly responsible for the reopening of the music scene in Chicago. Period. She's been an advocate. I talk smack. She is always positive. But to me, if she ain't got, they don't give her $10 to $15 million to work on the South Side and West Side for festivals, and if Lollapalooza, where's our Windy City Rib Fest? Think about what they did when they announced the country music. They're going to have a country music festival with barbecue and the biggest one in the Midwest. Y'all telling me, come on.
Do those people got to be vaccinated? Did they have a vaccination mandate on that too?
This is America. I don't need no vaccine.
I don't think they did. You could just show a test.
You could show a test, or you could stay socially distant.
Now that.
I'm just telling y'all.
That part.
Y'all, but again, it's like we're not talking about the fact that they are reprogramming. Yo, I told y'all they wasn't going to have y'all barbecuing at the Obama Library. Now, next year, the road going to be tore up. No, next year, Cornell Drive going to be tore up. So how you getting there?
I'm going south for the rest of my life. Sorry.
Bingo. So you going Lakeshore Drive and you can pass it up because you going to go to Reggie's and eat y'all barbecue and wings.
Take Stony.
Well, I can tell you from history, it's going to be a mess. You are never coming east anymore.
How are we supposed to get home, Todd?
You're going to have
Lakeshore
to take
Drive or you going to take.
Michigan.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. I told y'all
I'm
Southside.
moving to Robbins.
Yeah.
There you go. Then you're always going north.
All right. I'm just
I'm
telling
with
you. I'm saying we should move the Chosen Few to Robbins.
Hello. Plenty of space, I heard.
There's plenty of space. You could probably. I think the village administrator would welcome the tax revenue.
Oh, I love that.
Right? We could probably get the village could handle the parking. You could bring vendors. I mean, I think you could have the world's largest. You could make it overnight. Like you could make it one of them camp out festivals.
Ooh, I would love to do that. Like
Ooh.
Burning Man.
Yeah, like a camp out
I don't know
festival.
what that one is.
It's a fest like white folks do
In
like
the
this, bro.
sand.
They go out to the desert and build a whole community with crazy cars and all type of stuff, and they set the man on fire and he run around naked and he scream and every no, I'm just playing. But no, I just feel like black
Is this
should
like the Wicker Man where somebody's got to die?
no, no, it's just they burn up like it's like I think it started like a it's like I think it started like a
At night, they won't.
what one of them one of them festivals where they go out to the desert and talk to the moon.
You know,
Right.
you psychedelics.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying, my brother.
Go
I
to
get
the
that.
wigwam, right, and then it
Find
turned
yourself.
into-
You gotta go
yes.
find yourself.
I want to find myself one too.
I got you.
I'm not lost. I want to go like find myself and be like, go in the sweat room.
You can
come
go to
out.
Indiana Dunes and find yourself.
Find yourself hung. You ain't see that story about them racists.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm gonna dovetail into my next topic.
Oh, before you do, but this does kind of remind me of the hurricane where, everyone had to be evacuated.
Which one, Katrina?
Katrina, I'm sorry,
Okay.
yeah. That, where,
Right, because we had one in Chicago. Todd, thank you. Go ahead.
where, like some of our relatives got sent to Raleigh, North Carolina.
Mm.
And once they got there, like,
Kind of nice here.
yeah. And they never came back. And then, some white people kind of moved into that space, and that's
Now-
what it is now.
Now you can go to Treme and you can they basically flipped all those houses into Airbnbs. And so now you can go live authentically like a New Orleans while you go to the Dookie Chase restaurant. I remember because I was there and it was like, Dad, what is all these white people doing around here? Now I'm going, and again, y'all would say if the Chosen Few had continued, you would say you never believed that it could be wiped out. You are now 2 years away from it, with the next year the road being moved. Now, you may have it, but they ain't moving it to Grand Park because they got a house music festival in Grand Park. So where's it going to go? What did I tell y'all? The South Side is going to start 10 blocks south of the Obama Library. So maybe they'll take it to, what's that part? Lorraine Dixon Park?
Funny, Maze.
Yeah.
It's too little.
Yeah, there's no parking.
Yeah.
Hey, you can
That'd
shut
be
the
tough.
streets down. All I'm saying is, y'all, erosion doesn't happen suddenly. It doesn't. It's the slow carving away, right? You look at those cliffs by the ocean. Those are made out of stone and rock. And you wonder how they get those formations. It's because over years, the water just keeps whacking away at it. And you don't see it, but it just takes 2 little grains away. But every day, every time the ocean hits that, and I'm just telling
Forget
you.
that. Ocean is happening right here on Lake Michigan.
Right, really. So, y'all, I just think you need to be thinking about this. And I'm pointing it out because it kind of happens in silence.
Cultural erosion.
Oh, you trying to make up words off my stuff?
I just feel like that's a
That's a good one.
You
Could
made
you
that
write
up
that
to look
down?
at it.
Could you write that down?
You need to write an
Write that down.
article.
cultural
Write that down.
erosion.
Write that down.
Yeah.
Right now I'm playing cultural
Make
erosion.
an article
If you
and
don't,
send
I
that
am.
to somebody.
Maze, you can have it. You
No.
know, you just.
I'll be like, crackers don't crack.
Cultural erosion.
No, you can make money off of that one.
That's a good one, Ruth.
Yeah.
Cultural erosion, and
You know, I
the
think
cultural erosion of Chicago.
Things.
Ooh, because think about it. There was a time when you probably thought there would always be a Gladys's. There's probably a time. I mean, think about the things that you thought would never leave Chicago.
I would use it more as a group, because there's a lot of things that disappeared restaurant-wise.
I think you could do it. Like, think about the things that were landmarks in Chicago that probably if you were to talk to a black Chicagoan from 1970, they would never think it would be gone.
I saw somebody write, and I don't know where, that he would never have thought he couldn't walk out his door and get to 2 barbecue joints in like 5 minutes. But
Hey man, and nowadays barbecue, like you think about it, barbecue in Chicago is stolen too.
No, for real. I think I was in Wicker Park. It's one of these restaurants in Wicker Park, y'all. And they got mild sauce. Now they do give credit to like some of the local black restaurants that inspired their menu, but I was like, what?
Like authentic. Get some authentic in memory of limbs.
No, seriously.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
No, it's like if you go to white restaurants now and they offer rib tips, even in Texas. They're like a tribute to this Chicago classic.
Chicago style.
These Chicago meat delicacies are like unbelievable. They'd be like, nigga, you talk about a rib tip. They'd be like, these meat tender.
Gee, I never knew that.
Right, these tender meat pockets are like the epic piece of a barbecue rib. Throwback to Chicago. And you'd be like, Doc, these people talk about rib tips.
The riblets.
Riblets.
Pork riblets.
Yeah. Yo, Joe, just think about, Leon's. They tried to bring Leon's back. That was an epic failure. No, but remember.
I think they still have some spots, but they're not.
The Leon's that I know is
same
in Little Village or something.
Well, there's one in Little Village, and I think there's one in South Chicago, like on 106.
Mexican barbecue, right? Hey, I'm gonna tell you though, that I've had Mexican barbecue. It tastes pretty good. I had it at Juan Rangel's house.
Ooh,
That was when
I
we
bet
was
that
there
was
for
some good barbecue.
It was a tough fight. That was when Floyd Mayweather beat up old boy and all the Latinos was mad. And I was it was me and a friend, and we was the only 2 people like, yes! Kickers! They was like, there'll be no more tequila for you. You are out, you are not
Boxing
welcome.
is very much a
Racial, nationalistic.
sport.
Yes. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I told y'all, you know how it go. You turn on the fight, you see a black man fighting anybody, I'm rooting for the black dude. And God help him if he lose to somebody else. You be like, you have let the whole race down.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
It is a pressure to be a black fighter. That's probably why I would never want to be a black fighter. Because if you ever lost, all the black people be like, you, for real, dog? You lost? Hey, y'all, this is a Mace Jackson show. When we come back, we're going to talk about strings attached. Also, at 8:30, we're going to talk about, Todd, do you know about co-ops? Have you ever heard of co-ops?
Uh-huh.
So,
Excuse me.
You
we
do
have a
too?
co-op down the street from where we live.
a housing co-op?
Uh-huh.
We're going to talk about it because, I always thought about co-op as a way to collective economics and to provide some financial freedom. I was written to by a group in Atlanta who is part of a co-op that was historical at one point that has been hijacked it was part of a dream of black homeowners coming together, and now it has been hijacked by a white management company. And so I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. It is the Uncooperative Co-op. We'll talk about it all. Plus, when we come back, $1.9 million is coming to the city of Chicago. The federal government says it cannot go to pay down the pensions. That means Mayor Lightfoot got a problem. What do we do with $1.9 billion? And what do black people want out of that? Well, billion. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out chicagolegalnetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
I can see it in your eyes. You've been hurt way too many times, baby. And if I'm being honest, yeah, I can tell, girl, that you want this, yeah. But I can only wait for so long, girl. Giving us both some space so we can see. But don't make this too hard, yeah. 'Cause I still want you right next to me. Girl, it's plain to see, yeah. Don't play with it. Baby, life's too short, gotta make a decision, yeah. It's time to make up your mind, girl. You gotta make up your mind, girl. You don't have to say a word. Writing's all over your face, yeah. You don't have to hurt no more. Just give me your love. You don't hold back and let it go. But I'ma only wait for so long, girl. Giving us both some space so we can see. But don't make this too hard, yeah. 'Cause I still want you right next to me. Girl, it's plain to see, yeah. Oh, baby, life's too short, gotta make a decision, yeah. It's time to make up your mind, girl. You gotta make up your mind, girl. I've been looking for you. You've been looking for me. So hard to find what feels right. They don't see who I am. I didn't know who I was. Too afraid to show what's inside. Get to taking them chances. Oh yeah. Don't never care what no one says. No, no. Better learn your lesson. It's time for you to learn your lesson. Note to self, yeah, here we go, it's our time. Note to self, yeah, no more pressing rewind. Gotta get your head in
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host. That's the scratch version of
I thought you was eating chips.
Todd.
Thought it
Stroger.
was Rush.
Ooh,
Russia.
you better stop or they
There you
hackers.
go.
Oh, yeah, because the Russians.
Would you pay the ransomware, Maze?
No. This is what I feel like. I tell anybody trying to blackmail me, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. It's like I'm grown. Mm-hmm. There's nothing you can. I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of anybody. There's nothing in my no. I wouldn't pay the
wouldn't pay?
ransomware. I'd be like, but the problem is,
You like the mayor then. Y'all got something in common.
no, the mayor paid. She gonna pay. Oh, she gonna pay. She gonna pay. Cause see, you can get my computer. You gonna be like, dang, that's Facebook Live again. Another Facebook. Nah, the mayor's joint be like, you stole. You what? You said? Did you see the Sun Times did an editorial about the mayor? And they said she could really stop hurting herself if she was just more forthcoming. Like,
That
'cause
sounds
you're
practical.
a liar.
That's practical.
Yeah, I mean, they like we already. It's like the whole thing is it's like you be lying about stuff we already know the truth to.
Well, it's like, hey, mayor, you can't be talking about bringing the light.
And
It's
be
like
dark.
the antithesis of everything you said you stood for.
See, I mean, cause
It's like one of those fake sunlight.
Cause you're a fake baby. Cause I can feel it. Know how I know. That's okay. Y'all don't know nothing about Alexander O'Neal. I listened to
No,
that the other
don't.
day.
Don't know nothing about that. I mean,
Yeah,
I
he
did.
missing
I
two
did see
teeth.
Unsung. I will. I
He
did see
he
that.
was, man, Alexander O'Neal, man, he had a moment, boy. I so did you know that the state and the city are due for a $1.9 billion the city is due for a $1.9 billion windfall. And when we heard about it before, the mayor told us, she told the alderman, don't y'all even think about it. Don't get your hopes up. This is my money. And I'm spending it how I want to spend it. And I'm spending it on scoop and toss.
You know, it's interesting because if they want it, they can decide what they wanted and pass it.
If was a fifth, we all be drunk. If a frog had a back pocket, he'd carry a pistol.
I think Ruthie's drunk right now.
I wish.
I wish. Ruthie, you day drink?
Maybe if I'm sometimes if I'm really like going for it.
What's going for it? What you be going
Like
for?
I'm partying all day.
Really?
I do love those days. But you gotta, it depends on what you drink in the morning. That's how you could trick your brain into not feeling too bad. So if you you could do mimosas early.
I
Make your stomach hurt.
That's such a woman thing.
And, right. Mimosas are such a women thing. And champagne goes straight to my head. I'd be like,
Oh.
I'll be like,
Day drinking is fun.
It is.
it
Mostly
depends.
because of the sunlight. Normally when you drinking, it's like nighttime. But like drinking in the daytime is just a different feeling.
Let's do a day drink. Let's do a day drinking show at 5 o'clock. 6
Five?
o'clock.
That's nighttime
6
drinking.
6 a.m.
Ooh.
Let's do a day drink. show.
That's mighty early.
Let's do a day drink show.
We need a sponsor first.
Okay, who will sponsor it?
We need
I'll
a
ask
coffee
Chris.
company.
We could do like day drink Irish coffee.
Irish coffee. I can't stand coffee.
Okay, you could do Jamaican tea.
Ooh.
I never heard that.
What do you
Okay.
like, Bloody Marys? Those
Ooh,
are good.
I love Bloody.
Those are good morning drinks.
I do, but the problem with the Bloody Marys is they go down so easy,
Oh.
and it'd be like you be so slapped. I'd be like, oh,
Strawberry.
you have to day drink. That would be fun. You should like Carrie when she make a Bloody Mary. She put like a whole salad on her skin. like if you want to, like if there's a Bloody Mary bar, I'd be like, you can't. Where's the
in a
liquid?
Bloody Mary?
Ooh, some enchiladas.
Besides tomato juice, I guess.
Clamato and spicy clamato and
Ooh, that
vodka.
sounds good.
Oh, vodka.
Vodka.
Vodkas.
Now let me tell you, you can use the cucumber vodka. Delicious.
That's an effing vodka thing. So
Dang, you may have to shout them out.
Some herbs,
I'm,
lemon juice, lime juice,
Ooh, Sonia, that sounds good.
the hot sauce, some
put a little cilantro in there.
Ooh,
I'ma
y'all
tell you.
taking it up a
Worcester
notch.
sauce.
Get
I
some
just
Worcestershire.
had a little V8 and Svedka.
I'm not touching.
I'm
if
joking,
you
I'm
put
joking,
Sveka
I'm
in
joking, I'm
anything,
joking.
Lord have mercy, Jesus, Sveka.
It sounds like a salad y'all are making.
It is. It is a Bloody Mary salad, celery stick. You know, some of them they put a
They
whole
be putting
cheeseburger.
grilled cheeses
They
on
be
them
putting a
and
whole
bacon.
cheese, but yeah, they do. It'd be like you get it.
That
and it
sounds
delivers.
awful.
No, it's a tomato juice. I mean, tomatoes.
You said a cheeseburger, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's on top. It's like on the stick,
Like
on
a little
the spike.
slider.
So like they take a slider and then they put like a hamburger, pickles, all the stuff, and then they put bacon on it and all the stick, and then they stick it and it sits on top.
Todd, how else is they gonna justify $25?
Bacon is for breakfast.
We're talking about day drinking.
Day
This
drinking,
is breakfast
Todd.
drinking.
Day drinking, man.
Day drinking, that's right.
Follow.
I forgot, yeah.
Jeez,
Let me ask y'all a question. If we did a live broadcast at like a place that served like at a bar, if I could get a bar to do a live broadcast with
I'm
it, you
down.
think we could
And see
get
if we
our
could be
audience
drunk
to,
by 9?
Yeah, you got to go to work though. You have to get the day off, and you can't.
Hey,
We have to take that day off.
Let's take it off. Just take it off.
Yeah.
Huh? Could we do that? And then we could get Dante Hall and a bunch of people.
What's the name of this show?
The Mace Jackson Show.
We could do whatever you want.
Well, in that case, we're going to talk about $1.8 million going to the city of Chicago. Guys, $1.8 million.
You sure?
Wait, I thought it was a billion.
1.9 billion.
Yeah, billion.
Hold on. Don't.
We're not even
Got
drinking.
this.
1.8. That ain't. That's
One
it.
point, right, 1.8 million. It's like let's
I'm
jump
just trying to
there.
read this, and it's like,
One,
what?
$1.9 billion. And apparently the city, it's COVID relief funds. They release, so every state's going to get a goo gob of money, billions of dollars. I want to say like state of Illinois is getting 26 million. And Chicago's share of that is 1.26 billion. And Chicago's share is 1.9 billion.
Who would think there's that kind of money to spread around, right?
White people were struggling.
Yeah.
You can have 2%. You can have 200% black unemployment. They wouldn't have moved. White people tickled 10. They was like, "Oh, print more money." That when the white people started hurting, that was the time I saw this is the first time I saw the budgets go from billions to trillions.
Right.
Like we just watched the game change over this COVID, and ain't nobody blinking. So they say it can be used to pay debt. Now, Ty, why do you think that is? Do you think that was like a Republican clause? Or let me back up. They say it can be used to pay debt because the mayor was planning on paying off her old bills with this. And she's even appealing this, saying, well, we got all these bills because of COVID. No, you didn't. We had structural. Stop lying. See, that's the like y'all. We already said you had a shortfall, and she trying to say they're gonna go back and blame it on COVID. Why won't they let them pay old debt, Todd?
Oh, I think it's a political thing, especially against the Democratic states where there tends to be more unionization.
Unionization and those pensions and the union debt. My question is, why do we get? Well, I guess we do get the AFSCME pensions and the whatever pensions, but it does seem like it is to stop. Republicans don't want that money going to pay off debt because it keeps the Democrats still having to fight these budget battles in the states. Right. But they're also saying that it is the federal government is saying that they put a list of requirements on what the money cannot go for because they want to ensure that it goes to the needs of the people that was created for this, that were created through this COVID crisis.
Yeah, they want good press. They don't want bad press.
So what it essentially, remember we were talking, because just last week the mayor stood up in front of Wall Street and said that she was going to pay them back first with this federal stimulus, which was which was really the only thing that saved them from really just destroying her in the financial station, the financial status of the city, because she was showing that she was going to pay down the debt. Thus, and remember we were arguing about it, and you were saying how you pay Wall Street. I'm gonna say argue, but we debated it, and you were like, well, you could pay now or pay later, and it could arguably be a good decision. Well, that's off the table now. So now I got to ask you, with $1.9 billion, what do black people want out of that cut? What do black people want out of that cut? Now, we know that Alderman Gilbert Villegas already proposed universal basic income, and he wanted $30 million to do a test pilot program, to which Alderman Jason Irvin said that would be a slap in the face to do universal basic income before we did reparations. So now I got to ask, with $1.9 billion, what do black people want? My first question. 2, what are our priorities? 3, what things do we need to invest in? And 4, who is advocating for black people in this debate? Now, some of you might say that by Alderman Irvin saying that if some would say that reparations should be paid before we do any universal basic income. So that's what I did. I took the helicopter backwards. Not the helicopter backwards, but I went backwards and I said $1.9 billion. What's the black cut? So I said it's about 1/3. We're about 1/3 of that. So that would give us about $630 million. Right? And that's $630 million. So then I was like, well, shoot. Let me back up. Do you think I'm realistic to say that a logical way to approach this is to say the city is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3? Now, even though I said we should probably get 2/3 and let the whites and the Latinos split 1/3 because we were disproportionately impacted by COVID. But let's just say, like you said yesterday, Todd, the white people say we want ours too. So let's just say we take that $1.9 billion and divide it by 3. That gives us $630 million that would be allocated to the black community this year.
I like your idea. I think it's going to happen? No, but I like your idea.
So you don't think it can happen? Now I'm going to go to solutions. I don't see why it can't. I don't see why. You just got through telling me that the aldermen could say that this is what's going to happen with the money and you got no choice to do it. So my thing would be like, why not do the black caucus, the Latino caucus, and the white caucuses get together, say, let's split the money up, and then we can go back to our constituents and talk to them about what they want to do or see with the investment. So I did. Then I said, because somebody going to say, see, I don't want them to use reparations. I don't want them to say this $1.9 billion. Because, see, what I see in the paper right now is they're framing Alderman Villegas's universal basic income against reparations. This ain't reparations money. This ain't reparations money. This our money. This is COVID reparations. This ain't slavery reparations. Can we put it in that box? So in that statement, my question now becomes $630 million, what will we do with it?
Well, first I'd say, Mays, if you think the aldermen are going to get together and try to force $630 million out of this and say it to the mayor after the show, I got some magic beans.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, Todd.
Did you say beans?
But Todd, here's the thing. These aldermen have already seen that no one, they just, under their noses, we just saw cannabis surpass alcohol sales and the tax revenue.
Right.
They created that and nobody said anything and they left it up to the mayor. Right? My question becomes, in this time where, what do they have to lose by saying we want, how does any alderman lose by saying I'm fighting to bring $630 million back to the black community? How does any Latino legislator lose by saying I am trying to bring $630 million? And check this out.
But who has got the credibility? Because there's got to be a leader. So who's got the credibility on the council to lead this?
So I would say it doesn't. Here's me. I would say that instead, so just like we had this rally about creating the Office of North American Descendants of Slavery.
Yes.
What if everybody black got together and said, we're all collectively saying there's we want $630 million investment from the COVID money in the black community. And we don't leave the credibility up to the aldermen because the aldermen are saying what we say. So imagine if Ruthie puts a delegation together and we make it our business. We write up the $630 million. We say,
I'm sorry, when you say that, You mean projects?
We no the
Because
first.
I don't think it'll work unless you actually start saying where some of this money will be spent.
So I'm saying this is my point. This is where we don't have to fight. Like this is. Let me say this. We have always operated from the paradigm of them against us, and them being the politicians and us being us. This is $630 million that helps everybody. So my point then becomes, let's not make it like y'all. This is $630 million tangible dollars. Tangible. We know the money is coming.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to fight with nobody. Give us ours, dear black aldermen. The black community will support you in the call. Now make the mayor tell you why, why we can't get $630 million. We're not worth the $630 million investment in the black community. Where's the fight? So my premise would be if Ruthie, Mays, Todd, Tyrone, Mark, the 100 black men, why would they oppose a $630 million investment? We could allocate money to black schools and education and scholarships. You could take a big chunk of that and rebuild the legislative black scholarship program and stop giving $1,000. Endow the damn thing. Like I'm saying, y'all, there is a $630 million. That's a little over $500 million in investment. They're talking equity every single day. Now, if you're telling me that between Mays and Ruthie and Sonia and Todd and Kim Buckner and Kim, and you know what? I'm going to tell you it's possible that we could jag that because we saw them do it with the weatherization money. We watched and if we can't learn, again, same scenario. Will Burns recognizes green jobs are coming and says, here is a way I can get a ton of money to the black community. And they said, give us the weatherization fund. This was when Van Jones was being Obama's guy, and they all was clicked up. Mm-hmm. Will Burns, during that whole stimulus package, gets like $400 or something million from the federal government for weatherization. The governor says, every group, y'all just chop the money up. Y'all get a piece. Y'all get a piece. Y'all. Latinos grabbed the money. They did it. They did their thing. White people got the money, did their thing. Black people fought. I can tell you this because I was the executive director of the Illinois Legislative Black Caucus, and they literally fought. I probably still got the documents. Now, I won't produce them, but they literally argued over $150 million and left it on the table because the Negroes couldn't decide the brothers and sisters could not decide how to split it up.
They may have been Negroes at that time.
Right? And it was one guy who's smarter than everybody decided this the best way for us to spend the money. And it was like, I got it, so I'm going to tell y'all what to do. And it's like, we literally, and they argued it away until there was no money, till the money expired. Then Bruce Rauner claimed it, and then Madigan was like, see what Bruce Rauner did? No. Y'all had $130-something million that y'all could have split, but because they couldn't decide between, what's the matter?
That's sad.
Yeah.
It's real. It's documented. It's there. And it's like we got all of these people that are the brain trust who would tell you to fight against your own self-interest. So I'm just saying, y'all help me understand who black is against the black community getting $630 million of the money. Is there anybody against that? Point to me and tell me the only person black that I could think of that would be against that would be the mayor. And the blackness is suspect. Now, many of you ask me and say, stop talking about the problem, so I'm telling you here's a solution. I am suggesting that we know $1.9 billion is coming. The mayor has already showed you the last time she was going to she spent 2/3 of the money with the police. Now, we're digging a deeper hole with the police. We're not any safer. We're not. and we're being excavated from this community. Now, because I don't want the reparations argument I don't want them to trick us into starting this reparations argument. And they say, okay, because if you divided the number of black people in Chicago by the $630 million, because I don't want y'all to get all fired up, that means every black Chicagoan will get a check for $700. That would be at the corner store. That would be at Foot Locker for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So my question now is, do you build your community, your technical training, not technical training, but like your code academy? Like, do you build all of the infrastructure things in our community that we know our children need?
I like that idea.
And not saying, hey, Madam Mayor, we want to leave our fate into your hands, and literally sitting down with the black community, pulling the LZs and the state legislators and everybody, and taking a holistic look at our community and saying, with $630 million, what are the strategic investments that we need to make? I'm not in that space. I'm not a city planner. What I am, though, is a person that has a voice. And I am telling you, if you went and got the Black Caucus and then went to the socialists and said they got the votes to do it right there.
Well, they do.
Between the Black Caucus and the socialists, you tell the socialists, if the Latino caucus don't want to get with you, we'll vote that the money get allocated to y'all. Socialists be like, I take $630 million. Byron Sick Cholo, we will build a new place for all the people to live, Madam Mayor, because you must understand that, right? You know he'll take the money. You know Jeanette, she got places to go. And so I'm just telling y'all, there's your solution. Right now, $630 million, we're a city of neighborhoods. What we want in our neighborhoods. Now, if you can't imagine that, right, then the problem's not me.
Mm-hmm. Right. I can imagine it.
If you can't imagine taking if you can't imagine assembling 26 votes so that you can deliver $630 million to your community, what's your menu list look like now? Could you rebuild communities? Could we revitalize commercial strips? Could we get people to stay in their homes? Could there be a revolving community loan fund that allows for the retention of black people in their homes so that when the white people with the Christmas lights come trying to take it, you ain't got to?
I want to start with renovating all the grammar schools. Elementary schools.
But again, you telling me you couldn't put a state-of-the-art computer lab in every black grammar school?
Ooh, that'd be nice.
You couldn't prepare those kids to get ready? You couldn't look at those? Come on, man. Y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Today we learned that a Kentucky state grand jury found that the officer responsible for killing Breonna Taylor. Rulings like this one set us back and come as yet another challenge to the hard work and progress we've already made. It means we fight even harder against the systems of inequality and injustice designed to keep too many of us down. We will and we must continue to say her name. We will and we must continue to demand justice. And we will and we must do everything in our power to prevent any more names from being added to this roll, like George Floyd, or closer to home, Rekia Boyd, and Laquan McDonald, and too many others. I want you to know that I support you and will do everything in my power to protect you.
Regarding the CBS 2 story last night about the raid on the social worker's home, why did your administration go to court to try and prevent the body camera video from being broadcast? And why is your administration asking a federal judge to punish Miss Young for sharing video of her own home being raided?
And I watched that video.
This case was litigated in federal court. The federal judge put in place an order. There's allegations that she has violated that. A federal judge put rules in place. It's for that judge to determine whether or not that was appropriate. I'm not going to sit here and second guess a federal judge or how the information related to that matter is handled. That's for that judge who I know and is very competent and I'm sure will be fair in assessing.
Oh my God, this cannot be right. How is this legal?
Because
so,
COPA has not yet made a decision in 22 months on this. I just, look, we got to fess up and we got to clean it up.
You have the wrong place. You got the wrong house. You got the wrong house.
We will and we must continue to say her name.
Should be. Had no referral when I walked into my house.
Same stuff, different light. New day, same fight. How it comes, how it goes. One's on top, one's that know. But they forgot, they forgot, they forgot. And you bury a seed, it grows. Different names, still a rose. We grew up, we grew tall. We knew then, we know now. What they forgot, they forgot. When you bury a seed, it grows. I know it. I know it.
Listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Mayor Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up to seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. That was the scratches. Ruthie Mo, the mask breaker. I see you over there.
Don't you hate when your mask break and then you like you got to tie it now?
Oh, you get tied? How you tied?
It's called a mask hack.
Oh, a mask hack. I'll be like, give me another one. You need to get you don't have a what's in it for the black people mask?
One of those? Is that 3-ply?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's fresh to death. I'll get you one.
I want people knowing who I am.
You want a logo on it too?
You know, I be trying to be discreet, Maze. If I put on the mask,
hater, man. I'm be tired of you.
People be,
they
you
be
know,
like,
Maze.
Where's Ruthie?
You know Maze.
Nah, they be like, where's Ruthie?
No, I'm telling you, you know Maze
They be
Jackson,
like,
or it's like you know Maze Jackson.
I hate that.
And all of a sudden, you got to talk to him.
You don't have to.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, Ruthie. First of all,
There's no way you can represent what's in it for the black people brand without talking to people out in the world.
You better talk to some of these people. It is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Ruthie Moore. So, yeah, what am I crazy on this $630 million?
Well, good morning.
Good morning
To those who weren't listening.
Oh, she don't be telling me what to do. Sonia said to tell y'all good morning.
A lot of money.
She like it's a lot of people. Hey, have you been playing? We been playing Dawn's thing? I think I heard it. The Dawn with you got it. Okay. Hey y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd. And that was probably my one-upperness. Right? You told me something, so I had to one-up you. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm just terrible. $1.9 million, but yeah, $1.9 billion. Y'all, $630 million dedicated to the black community. Well, is that possible? I mean, we know it's getting ready to come. Like, what is the opposition to that happening? Can we do this? And I did messed up again. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474.
I think you have to have, well, you kind of mentioned it before, some kind of capital fund to make sure that certain businesses can do certain projects. So, if you're going to have a capital improvement infrastructure project, you got to make sure that the companies have the money to bid on the project.
do you think you have to identify the players before you start the plan, or do you start the plan and then identify the players?
Nope, players first. I only say that because I've seen it happen, and it's tried and true. It works. If you try to find people after the dinner started, it's over.
So the phone lines are open. Ruthie, tell them.
The number is 872-259-7474.
872-259-7474. I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show. Okay, so let me ask y'all a question. Realistic that we could demand $630 million out of $1.9 billion, or do we have limited vision, limited scope? Because here's what it takes. Essentially, and Todd, you can correct me if I'm wrong. And I understand we have to identify where the money goes. But is it as simple as the Black Caucus sticking together and finding 4 more votes? Is it that simple?
I mean, yeah, in math, yes. That's
but
simple.
I'm just telling you.
But in personality, it's a lot harder.
But why? Help me understand why anybody in any constituency, how they could argue against, let's say, so even, Ruthie, get your calculator. 630 million divided by 20. Right? So 63, that's something 50. But my point being,
Yep.
How much?
31 million.
That's 31 million award. Your annual allocation is 1.9.
Whoa.
Right? That's what your menu is.
Right.
So every ward, even if every ward had $30 million in investment and instruction. Now that's above and beyond the budget. This is all free money. Now, I don't understand why anybody has a claim to how does the mayor have a greater claim to the free money than the citizens? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Let's go to Brother Frank. Brother Frank, you're on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hey, good morning, Brother Maze.
Good morning, Brother Frank.
Brother Todd, Sister Ruthie and Sonia. How y'all doing?
Great.
Hey, I'm so glad you opened the phone line up on this. I just didn't jump on Facebook and said, man, you got to open the phone line up on this. And I know I called yesterday, but I'm sorry. I got to call it on something like this. Okay. All due respect to all y'all. You know I love y'all. Okay. I just got to say on this right here, all y'all are thinking small. With this $630 million, y'all thinking small. You're thinking pennies. Like in that movie, you're going to get pennies. Think dollars. At first came to mind was resources to open up black businesses. But see, that's not a one-size-fits-all. This money could literally end poverty for black people in Chicago. And Brother Mays, you're right. There's no good mayor of ours. That will be the only one black person that will push back on it. There's not 630 million black people in Chicago. There's not half that much. 315 million.
Bro Frank, let me tell you something. Bro Frank, let me tell you real quick, though. If you divided the number of people in Chicago, black people in Chicago, by our portion, the total that everybody would get individually would be $700 a person. That wouldn't end poverty. That would be at the corner store or at the gym shoe shop. So I think we got to be a little bit bigger in thinking that. So I do agree with you that there is a possibility to end poverty, perhaps if you can make that money work, right, for you. And if it was a way to make people then take, imagine if every ward had a $30 million revolving loan fund that whether it's you're trying to buy a business, you're trying to buy a house that helps you stay in that community or recruits people to live in these black enclaves that we're rapidly being pushed out of, right? I definitely think you can, there are ways to use this money to end poverty, right? But I don't know if I think we got to be careful because the $630 million seems like a lot of money to us. It is, but it's not. And that's why I'm saying, like, I wanted you to understand that giving everybody, it wouldn't end poverty because it would be equivalent to everybody getting $700. And if I could shut y'all all up for $700, I certainly would. Let's go to Tyrone. Tyrone, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. Hello.
Good morning, ladies at the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
And,
Good morning.
And the listening audience. Listen, bro. The fact that you can even ask the question, can we get black folks to vote on $600 some $million as legislators, let me know that it's time for them to be removed. I'm just going to keep it 100. The fact that that can even be a question, that we have to go to a black caucus and then pose the question and think that there will even be opposition towards anything dealing with us as a community. That tells me something. And another thing is, how do we think that's going to work when our black elected officials, allow for white men to be legal drug dealers while black boys and men are still in prison and still getting locked up on the corners for cannabis? And we still fighting that fight right now. I'm not worried about that money. I'm worried about the dollars that's coming in and out of our communities. If we can't even control the revenue, the money that's coming in and out of our communities, then for us, bro, even after that's done, we still in trouble, because now we have to have strong men, strong person, strong whatever. It's time for us. I'm going to just say it loud and clear. We got to decide we're going to take some stuff. I want to say another word. We got to take some stuff. And I don't care. I mean, you're going to have those. Listen, if you're scared, go to the graveyard right now.
No, beat it, kill it. No. You don't got to send them to the graveyard. Hold on, bro. Don't send them to the graveyard. No,
right
Ty. Don't send them to the graveyard. Send them to the accounting booth. Right? Like, we
sending them? We sending them?
We got to send them to be accountants. Like, everybody ain't going to be the soldier, bro. And I think that the key here, Tado.
But guess what, James? Guess what? Our women and our children are victim of the madness, bro. Our women, our children are victim of the poverty, the war on drugs, and everything that's going on in our community. You don't have to be a soldier to be a casualty of war. Trust me.
Right, but I'm also saying that and I'm with you, but every war, let me just be clear, every war has divisions. And every war, there's got to be somebody that does the supply line. There's got to be somebody that counts everything that's in the joint. There's got to be somebody that gets the munitions from the plant to the soldiers that's on the front line doing it. And the thing I just want to say in this piece, right? Because I feel like our warrior class, and I'm gonna put you in the warrior class, I'm also put you in the thinking class, but I think they try to jam us, and if we put our farmers on the front line, then we don't have no food to supply the army. So I just think we got to think about where does everybody fit, and we got to start getting an understanding of us. Now, I am 100% with you, which is why I'm pulling my hair out, because I saw this happen before. I literally saw $135 million sit on the table, and black folks who had the ability to divide it up, and y'all can check this, they fought amongst each other until the money went away, and no black people even knew that it existed. And so when I'm trying to make y'all aware of this, Brother Ty, to Mark, to our audience, it is the fact that, y'all, we don't have to be victims in this. I'm going to let you get a close, Ty, and then I'm going to take the next call.
Well, I don't believe it. I don't believe we have it in us. We broke. And at the end of the day, although I don't agree with W.E. Du Bois, talented 10, it's probably going to take 10% of a people, of a community, or types of people to bring the masses in order, because they don't have it within them to ever fight. They so broken. We so broken that we can't get up. It's going to take us to do it, even if it costs us our lives and it sets the stage for something else. It's going to take that, because it's not enough sacrificing to get us back to where we in. We in a gangster city, Chicago. It hasn't changed. Everything every people has gotten in this city, from Irish to Italian to Jews, they took it or exploited a lesser people. And if we think that hasn't changed, look at our conditions in our community. We're our aldermen. We got every foreigner in our neighborhoods, in our community, and they don't put 10% of community benefit back in our community to deal with the blight and the disinvestment in our community. And they leave these businesses, they leave their businesses, take their money, and they come back smiling in our face, and we watch this every single day, and we give them, and they provide no resources to help repair what they're destroying in the name of liquor stores and bad food throughout our neighborhood. So just keep on talking about the problem. We got to get to taking and getting to the solution. And I'm telling you, feds, the whoever, and everybody will stay out our business. We got to take care of our own communities. We can't wait on no pastors and politicians to do nothing because they sitting back taking money out the back door and bribes. And whoever feels some way about it, we can sit down and talk about it.
That is Brother Tyrone Muhammad. Let me go to the next call. Greg, you on the Maze Jackson show. Ty, he tired, man. He tired. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was swole like that, I'd probably be a little bit more tired too. Right? I'm just not as big, right? I'd be thinking like, dang. I'd be like, them some big dudes they be putting on them construction sites to come. Now I ain't scared, but good Lord, you know what I'm saying? Nah, but I do think there is a building rage. And again, I think it speaks volume. Todd, how do you say I'm voting with the mayor against bringing $30 million to my ward? I mean, how do you say that? Let's go to Greg. Greg, why you perked up? Greg, you on the Maze Jackson show. Greg, you there? Greg, you hung up? You like, I'm out of here. You got to get me in trouble.
I can't follow up Tyrone.
Todd, how does an alderman or a city councilman or anyone say they're fighting against, they don't see a reason to bring 30? Think about this. Gilbert Villegas wanted $30 million for his pilot program. You could do your own literal universal basic income program for your ward with the $30 million.
The only thing I could see is that the mayor will bring out her own program. And
how's that helped us at all?
And the argument is, I think the mayor's program is going to work better, so I'm going to stick with her.
So the mayor who let the South Side burn, destroy, who has completely ignored us, who told us that until they included the Latinos, that equity and inclusion wasn't even a thing. You telling me that's who's gonna say that? Wait, do you have Ray Lopez? Why don't you let me talk to Greg. Oh, Chris, you're on the Maze Jackson show. In the meantime, since Todd's so smart, why don't you find Ray Lopez, since we gotta trust the mayor? Chris, you're on the Maze Jackson show. Hello? We hear you.
Hello?
That's you. Come on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Greg. This ain't Chris. I think y'all got it crossed up. This is Greg Sherman.
What's up, Greg?
How you doing?
Great.
I did want to follow up. Good morning. I did want to follow up behind Tyrone because I agree completely. I believe that it's time out for talking. Is much more time into Black people getting together and being forceful in our approach. In my position where I stand, every one of the people listening got a child in their household gaming, right? Everybody got it. America will hide the money every chance they get. And if we wait on our Black elders to tell us where the money is, we'll never have any of it, right? Gaming is $180 billion industry. They're building a $30 million facility, 108,000 square feet, 7,000 people can fit in Bronzeville. City Council just approved it, right? As I said, there's $180 billion in gaming. Every HBCU is currently offering scholarships in this industry.
Did you say gaming?
Our peers, the Black people, still fighting our kids about not playing the game. So we really, really got to sit down and decide, if they do give us money, who's going to be in charge of speaking where it's going, because these outdated elders don't even know where it could go. You understand what I'm saying? So we still fighting our babies about the games,
and every HBCU got scholarships in gaming. Gaming make more money than music and movies combined. But we sleep. We still chasing something else, right? And so while we on this television, this TV show talk about where the money at, we really got to lift up some rocks and really find out where they at.
Hey, that was Ruthie over here clapping for you. Because
that was good, except for the attacking the elders.
Well, no, but I think that's part of what I was talking about just a little bit earlier this morning, in recognizing that the world is changing. And again, I do be like, why you on that game? And my son is literally talking about trying to play games for a living.
But he was saying that the HBCUs
have scholarships now.
Right. HBCUs would not exist without older people. Younger people don't keep those.
They wouldn't exist without white people, though.
Younger people don't keep those things alive. The alumni do. So they're not against.
I think that, and I think what we can't do is zero in on that part. I think what he was basically saying is we got.
No, I can. You can talk about whatever you want.
Okay, I'm saying, and I'm suggesting that he's not. I don't think that his point was really to diss the elders. I do think it is a difference in the way our idea of success and what we still project is not oftentimes the reality that the young people are talking about. And I'm going to say...
Well, and I'm pushing back saying that the elders are supporting the young people, and that's why the change happens.
Okay. I don't doubt that the elders... I don't always think the elders...
The elders know they're old, to be honest with you. They're like,
not all the time. But they may know that they're old, but they will enforce their old will on a new world. And that, in essence, becomes the challenge in that this intergenerational gap. If I'm the old guy and I feel like that's the way it was in the world and I'll pay for it, but I'm going to pay for it for you to do it the way we did it back 20 years ago. And it may not be. Like, again, the first place we go and we think of athletes and scholarships is going to school playing a sport where these young people, and if you're in the mind, you like, listen to that white boy so you can get you a scholarship so you can go on. Whereas another kid that right now he's talking about is playing games, and his mama like, put that daggone video game down. And he like, I could feed the whole daggone family with this game. But are we really, if this is what I would tell you, if you are saying that they're saying that the mayor's plan would be better, here's what her last plan sounded like from the perspective of an alderman.
When downtown is in lockdown, our neighborhoods are next. And our failure to fully get ready for what's going on in the neighborhoods, we're seeing this destruction and we're thinking that it's going to somehow end tonight. We have seen where in other cities this has gone on for days. And we need to come up with a better plan for days, at least for the next 5 days.
Just ask for a plan.
To try and stabilize our communities. Right now,
stabilize our community.
Back of the yards has...
What are you looking at me for?
From Halsted almost all the way through to Kedzie, along 47th Street, has been a virtual war zone. Ashland Avenue, which borders between me and Alderman Taylor, has had 400 people in 4 lanes of traffic almost for an hour. We can't expect our police, and I don't fault them at all, to be able to control this. But I know that we asked our faith base yesterday to stand as the front line between police and looters and rioters.
Remember, here's our plan.
And I'm simply not comfortable telling my churches, those people, to be the intermediary.
Mayor, we need a plan.
In the middle of a riot.
We really need a plan.
Citywide. We need something better.
Help.
Because right now, we only have 370 whatever National Guards on standby.
What do you think, Madam Mayor?
Are already obliterated. It's too late. We have to come up with a better plan because once they're done looting and rioting and whatever's going to happen tonight, what happens when they start going after residents, going into the neighborhoods? You know, we know that people are here to
all this that he talked about happened,
and you've got them all pumped today, they're not going to go to bed at 8 o'clock.
No, I don't think all.
They're going to turn their focus in the neighborhoods. I've got gangbangers with AK-47s walking around right now, just waiting to settle some scores. What are we going to do, and what do we tell our residents other than?
And here's who our fate is in the hands of.
Thank you, Alderman. Next question.
No, I want an answer. You commented on everybody. I want an answer. It's not something you ignore. This is a question that I have.
I think you're 100% full of ish, is what I think.
See, she gave him an answer in the end. Her answer was, I think we need to go in the alley and fight.
I think I don't know who would have won. It's the Mace Jackson show. When we come back, we're going to talk about uncooperative, cooperative. We're going to talk about there is a cooperative. I got a letter from a group down. It's called a Caring Touch from Wildwood Park Townhomes in Atlanta. And I want to talk to them. I want to talk to you all about this whole concept of the co-op. But what happens when the management company takes over and is really not working in the best interest of the community and the people who thought they were buying in? We'll talk about it all when we come back. It's the Mace Jackson Show.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
WBGX.
Wasted on you. From the beginning, you see my world spinning, just a tasting guide. Wasted on you. Vision was blurry, the mood got me working, and my feelings got loose. Let's just forget I was just playing. Can we move on and have a good night? Let's just forget unless you're sane, then you might think about it's time to time. Let's just forget don't know why I'm waiting. Don't entertain if it ain't right. But let's just say you feel the same. I wouldn't hesitate. Wasted on you. Hours and hours trying to figure out what power makes me feel like I do. Wasted on you. I keep on fighting, but the more I try to hide it, more that you can see through. Let's just forget I was just playing. Can we move on and have a good night? Let's just forget unless you're saying that you might think about it's time to time. Let's just forget don't know why I'm waiting. Don't entertain it if it ain't right. Let's just say you feel the same. I wouldn't hesitate. Wasted on you.
WBGX.
Love song, play this when you love song. Your love song, drowning when you jump on, yeah. Dying to come see what you'll do to me. A love song, play this when you love song. Amazing, yeah. Front and the back looking crazy. I know that you're thinking what I'm thinking. Why you look this good, baby? All to myself, I'm selfish. Around you, I can't help it. You ain't no one else's. You ain't no one else's, yeah. Wondering how did you get here? Taking me for a ride. You came in so unexpected.
You are tuned in to the Maze Jackson Show. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar. Hey, Todd, Ruthie, what y'all know about co-ops?
I know about farming co-ops.
No, I don't want to talk about farming co-ops. I want to talk about housing co-ops. You know anything about co-op, Todd?
A little bit.
Yep.
We had a co-op in the 8th Ward.
You had a co-op.
London Towns. That's a co-op.
That's in the 8th Ward?
I don't know.
London
now.
Townhomes? Oh, the white. That's what DJ Ferris. Oh, I'm sorry. DJ Ferris living in his grandmama basement over there.
Dang.
Shoot. Not in the back. Shoot.
He popping now though, but okay.
Ferris,
No, I
Ferris
just
been
thought
popping.
Maybe he didn't want everybody to know.
No. Ferris is he popping now.
No, Ruthie.
I'm telling you, he popping in a whole different type of way than he was popping.
This is
We talk about on the break.
You don't know. Oh, really?
Like he popping.
No, he's super popping. He been super popping.
He been popping local, but now he popping.
No, Ferris was like one of the original.
I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you on the break.
Okay. Yeah, with his little record label thing? Not Lil, his record label. I'm not even tripping because Ferris is the man. No, Ferris has been the man. Ferris, he did the first Sprite mixtape too.
What?
Yep, we had to both collectively decide that Kanye could not be on it. And he still loves Kanye. Kanye's still mad at me he said May said you couldn't be on.
Oh,
We cut Kanye off of the song and kept the girl he was on the song with. But Kanye cursed too much. Anyway. So let me back up. Todd. London Townhomes. See, this is how I get distracted. Talk to me about London Townhomes and the whole concept of the co-op.
So everybody has ownership. You have like some kind of a percentage. And every year you have to, it's like being on the board of directors. Every year you have to have a meeting and you have to vote on officers and issues, how you spend your money. So like in the co-op, when I was the alderman, they got new roofs. So everybody gets a new roof. So you got to vote on it. I mean, you have to talk about, what color, because, everybody's roof is going to be the same. So it's an interesting concept.
Now, why does the concept come about? I feel like there was is there an economic benefit to it?
Well, your shares tend to be less than if you bought a home yourself. It's cheaper, basically.
It's cheaper to be in a co-op. And it's also a collective way of housing, right? A collective of spreading the costs out.
A whole bunch of people, yeah.
A whole bunch of people getting together. I don't want to say in a like mind, but getting together. And a lot of these co-ops initially were formed as vehicles for black people to have a semblance or to have home ownership, right? Because as a co-op member, you are part owner.
Yeah, you're a part owner.
You are a part owner. Now, that part ownership, though, makes you a member, right? And then there's a board of directors that the members elect.
Oh, it's just like being in a corporation. Well, it's not just like, but it's very similar.
In that the members are essentially shareholders, and they elect a board of directors. That board of directors is then in charge of facilitating what happens. But does that the board of directors is not actually the people that run the co-op. The board of directors.
Oh, so then it's very similar to a corporation. Like, so in a corporation, the board of directors would get a president and such like that. In this, they'd get some kind of director, executive director,
or a management company.
Yeah, who runs the day-to-day operations for the whole housing that you have.
They pay for it. So they collect the rent. They pay the bills. They do all of the maintenance. They handle all the administration. So in Atlanta, one of the oldest and most historic black co-ops was formed at the Wildwood Park Townhomes. Funny you said townhomes because you was talking about London Townhomes. But I lived in a co-op at one point when I lived in Hyde Park at 4800 South Lake Park. Those two twin buildings are co-op buildings. And essentially, you actually can stay there and then pass it on from generation to generation, right? Like that's what a lot of people in that building, like their parents had it, then they turn over is it a lease that you have there?
Not just said that, you have to, I don't think you could just sell it to somebody. It's almost like
You have to get it for approval. Like, you
yes,
have
you
to
have to
go
get
to the
approval.
board, and the board has to approve the new members, etc.
Yeah.
Well, so this co-op, the Wildwood Park Townhomes, was formed in Atlanta in 1969 as a group of black folks who were trying to do better in the space of housing. You know, housing is one of those issues that everybody is confronted with. And during the late 60s and early 70s, there was a sense of black, pride and collectivism, and we're going to do it together.
Well, and in a lot of cities, black people were stuck in a small area, and everybody had to live in that small area. So, like you're saying, in the late 60s, it was expansion time.
But one of the things that I've noticed about these co-ops, as I've come to find them, is that while they were collectively built for these collective, they've become profit centers for just like affordable housing for white corporations and management companies. And one of the things that happened at this place, Wildwood in Atlanta, was that a white management company took over, right? And they took over, and then they took control of the board, right? And in taking control of the board, so you like, but in taking control of the board, the members lost their control, lost their say in the project, in the building. So it's a 286 unit project. And now they are saying that the management company, Cornerstone Cooperatives, elected the board so that they could then be there to approve the fleecing of the community. And so what you see now is that the management company is now in control of the board, and it has essentially negated the voices of all of the residents. And so now in the same process, it's become a economic vehicle because they deal with black, and I don't want to say low income, but affordable people. They then go out and apply for grants and apply for money that is supposed to benefit the residents of the facility, but it winds up going to the management company. And the building never seems to get repaired. Now, what has essentially happened for this community is that their voice has been stolen by the management company that has all of the political relationships. And so when you think of this Wildwood Townhomes, there's a connotation in people's minds where they believe that the white corporation is there to help these poor black people who won't take care of their homes and won't take care of their business, when for all intents and purposes, it's really the management company that's not allocating the resources to the repair of the building. So much so that one of the buildings where residents had invested in burned down. They got the insurance money and said, we're not going to rebuild it. We'll just make it green space, and then they pocketed the money.
Yeah, so if this is
allegedly,
this is just politics. If they organize the 280 units, the 280 units would take over the board. They could actually, you don't have to have a management company. You could actually hire someone in your community to be the manager, and then they would run the operations for how to repair and all that. Because they also hire a lawyer. If you got any sense, you hire a lawyer to help you make it through the tough parts.
So essentially, though, what has happened is the board and the board, controlled by the management company, refuses to follow the rules. Right? So they won't hold an election. They won't even have the annual meetings so that there's not.
That's got to be like a U.S., not a U.S., probably an attorney general thing. If they're not holding the meetings, there's a law. That's why they have to hold the meetings.
So how do they get it? Because check it out. It seems to me that it has become a Ponzi scheme, right? Where essentially the management company takes in money, and then whenever there's a problem, they pay the money that they've been taking in, but not putting any of the resources or anything back into the development. And quite frankly, what they count on is less educated or less organized people who need their homes, and then they wind up threatening them. Like, how do you get out of a situation like that? It almost feels like housing slavery.
I would say if this was 1970, I'd say you go to the NAACP.
This is 2021.
But since it's 2021, you go to the ACLU, and you try to get them to be the lawyer for your case.
ACLU. Okay. Ruthie, have you ever seen any of this housing racism, discrimination?
I thought the whole point of a co-op was that you get to kind of like, don't you get to vote on the management company? Can't they just vote them out?
Well, they voted them out,
Mm-hmm.
and then they brought in a new company. And when they brought in a new company, the new company was like, we can't be a party to this.
Oh,
And so they bounced out. They resigned.
Mm-hmm.
And then the board rehired the people who was doing the theftery.
Oh, no.
Y'all not helping me.
I mean, it just sounds, but it seemed like it is like a cycle.
It seems like to me the board, here's what I see.
That's really who control. Like I remember it was this when they was tearing down the places to build the hospital up north where they tore down the children's hospital. It was like these housing cooperatives, and it was this one man who had a whole lot of money, and he kept on buying up all of the places in the co-op so that he could control the board. And they tried to change the rules, like, hey,
you can only own so much and all
exactly, but it doesn't give you more of a percentage on the board.
So essentially what it seems, and I've seen this happen too, right? Which is and this is again the same thing we've been talking about. So in a depressed and impoverished community,
Mm-hmm.
I can pay 6 people and make sure you straight and you straight and you straight, and then kill everything for everybody else. So your lights and your water and your power work. And you then become the protector of the white guy who is stealing all the money. Y'all, I am concerned about this group. I'm trying to help this group.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't, and Todd, I'm feeling, don't you got some people in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
You like, I ain't helping them.
I don't know what county they live in.
I think it's Fulton. Which one is the main Atlanta county?
I think it's Fulton.
I don't remember.
So
I can't
anyway,
remember if it's the Fulton or the
the question becomes, y'all,
but we'll talk about it.
how do we take control of our environments? And how do we, as we're in these scenarios, recognize the people that, and do you think people mean you harm when they take the benefit, or do they're so at the bottom that they just say, man, this is a good thing, and they don't think about nobody else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're selfish.
Yeah, we be down.
Do you
so
think
bad.
they're selfish? Like, see, I feel like they're the Ruthie thing. I don't think they're the
I'm
malicious
sorry,
self.
what was the Ruthie thing?
I think people just be down so bad.
You be down so bad, and it's an opportunity that you don't see it as I'm shorting everybody.
You know what? How Tyrone just said that if you trying to come up, you generally got to exploit some people to do it.
No, that's a black thing. Not just a black thing. White people do it too. But
no, I'm saying they
I live
exploit
in
us.
I live in a black neighborhood.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that we oftentimes end up doing it to each other in a way. And you might not mean no harm, but I think that's part of the challenge with who are the gatekeepers, because you start off with good intentions. So, you know what? I'm going to try to control more of these board seats. And then all of a sudden...
Then you controlling the board seats for the white boys because you get to get invited to the party.
But see, I think that's the undercurrent that kind of runs through when you don't have a lot of money. People always tell you got to step on somebody else's head to get up. But it doesn't have to be that way.
But I guess
I agree, Todd. But what is not... But something like a co-op with all the best intentions in the world, like getting people together and da-da-da, how could this go awry?
Look at and you know the perfect... does anybody watch City on the Hill?
Mm-mm.
No, I missed the first one, so I'm not.
So you should go back and watch it, because this season they're in the projects, right? And they're in the projects of Boston. There's this black woman that she lives in the projects, but she controls everything, right? So the maintenance company, the whole, and her power is in the poverty, right? Her power is in being the queen of all of the poor people.
Mm-hmm.
and getting all of their resources and being able to dole them out to utilize them for or against. And this thing that I'm seeing right here reminds me of a lot of what I see in CHA, which is you have these people that are in charge of the LSCs that are the people that get the final say with. Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh, no. I was thinking to myself, it reminds me of good times. The alderman, whose name I forgot, was always pressuring the Evans family. But his threat was basically kicking him out of the projects. And if they didn't do what he wanted, like, I want you to throw a party for me, you Evans are well liked, he'd throw him out. Alderman Davis.
But it's like the same thing that and I guess I'm starting to see us being pimped in the home housing and
they gatekeep pimp us.
And it's like, so yeah, because I was just thinking about this. You think about all of the development that's happened in all of these communities where there used to be public housing. All of the development had to be approved by the former public housing residents. So think about this. The people who, while we talk about gentrification, they had to get a vote to be gentrified. And so essentially what people have come to the recognition is that if I can get 6 black people in control, I can buy those 6 black people and have everything.
6 gatekeepers, 6 influencers.
6 blockers. 6 people who aren't necessarily... Well, I would say
they gonna get theirs.
And so I guess this is the question. How do we help the people in Atlanta? Because there are black people right now who are being disenfranchised. See, this affordable, have you ever been to like an affordable housing market thing? Mm-hmm. It's like all of the people that they're talking about are black that are the residents, and all the people making the money are white. And I did not realize that even in nonprofit housing and even in these co-ops that are meant to give us a leg up, somebody is making tens, thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on our pain, suffering, and poverty.
You knew that.
Don't tell me what I know.
I know you knew that.
I didn't. This one was pretty blatant. Like when you look at the documents and you look at the paperwork and you look at the facilities and you say, wait a minute, we've been paying all into this and this is what we get. And
I think the best thing you could do is really blow the whistle on it.
And then the white folks feel comfortable pulling it because they got all the political relationships up the chain and they done told all the black elected officials, see, you know your black people don't want to clean up their house and take care of it, and I got to deal with this mess. And we buy into that craziness.
When I learned that there are certain property management companies that specialize in hood properties.
Can I speak on this real quick and then we're going to get
do.
off? Did y'all know that today the city is trying to reallocate their public housing? And you know who their number one person is right now?
Pangea. Yeah, I heard that.
They are trying to move Pangea, which has led to the death, destruction, and chaos in our community. And in the effort to dislodge a black man who has given back tremendously, they are trying to put in a white company that was created to create housing pimpery.
Pangea, yes, they work to put themselves in this space so
that they could have all of the subsidized housing, and then they could kick you out and they could own the black neighborhood and bought all the houses cheap. And now as they evict y'all, because when they're going to do a mass eviction, then they could put the white people back in y'all spaces in y'all neighborhoods. Meanwhile, and again, it's being ushered in by our mayor. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. For Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people?
It's time to go.
And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the